Hello and welcome to tonight's Minds in Music webinar. This webinar is called Finding Your Voice, and it's all about reflecting on our experience of running the webinars as well as our own creative journeys. This is our webinar, so our as a collective as people, and it's our chance just to share with you about what we've done and what we've gained from the webinars and what we've enjoyed about the experience, as well as our visions for the future. So I hope you enjoy.
So we're going to break this down into a few different topics. A lot of you probably have seen all of us throughout all the webinars because we've all hosted one, but you probably don't know all what we do. So we're going to start off by just telling everyone a little bit about ourselves and what we were up to before lockdown. We're going to talk about things we've personally achieved through lockdown, how lockdown has affected us as people and our creative practice, skills that we've all gained from doing these webinars, and our goals and visions for the future. So I'm going to start off by introducing myself. I'm Josh, and I'm a musician and producer. And before lockdown, I started playing with an artist called Melanie Baker, and I was due to go on a tour with her in April of this year. We were due to do a little tour of the UK. I was about to drop my first EP with my band. I was running my samba band, and all that kind of had to stop due to lockdown. But we've kind of made it work. Ruby, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I'm Ruby. I was about to do my GCSEs before lockdown, like everyone else, and I'm just in sixth form now. I didn't take music for A level, but I'm doing lots of other things with it and stuff. And yeah, that's all I've got to say really. I'm 16, I guess.
What do you play?
I play saxophone, alto sax.
Great. Chloe, do you want to go next?
So I'm an A-level music student, and before lockdown, I was doing like this composition workshop to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the death of William Wordsworth. And I'd also got an organ scholarship that was waiting to start in September, but hasn't started yet. I also did my Silver Choristers Award and was starting to work towards the gold. I was partway through doing my GCSEs, and I had done some music for the videos for the Children in Care Council.
Wow, you were all busy. Busy bee. Hazel, do you want to tell everyone a little bit about yourselves and what you were up to?
So yeah, I'm Hazel. I was doing my last year at college, so second year, level 3. Music performance. When lockdown came, we were preparing to do our final assessment, but we weren't able to do that. So I'm unemployed at the moment, but I play tenor sax mostly, and I also do alto and clarinet, and I like to make random things in Logic. So yeah, that's kind of me.
That's great. Awesome. Naomi, do you want to tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. Well, during lockdown, I'm still doing it. I'm doing my GCSEs. I do GCSE music, and I'll probably carry that on for A level. My main instruments are piano and flute, but I like trying out other instruments as well.
That's super cool. Awesome. Matt, do you want to tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I was, before lockdown, I was doing kind of a lot of performing. So I was, at the time, I was just before lockdown was called, I was preparing for some spring concerts up at a junior conservatoire in Glasgow. That obviously got called off. And I was also kind of just in the middle of my A levels at the time.
Great, wicked. My phone's in the way. Dorothy, do you want to go next?
Hi, I'm Dorothy. Before lockdown, I had just chosen my GCSEs, and I didn't choose music, but I did take drama and art. And then I was also in the rehearsal process to perform Oliver with like a local like youth theatre, and I've just released my debut single that I'd like produced and wrote myself. But due to lockdown, the rehearsals had to stop, as well as any upgrade I'd be doing on my, well, any work I'd be doing on my GCSEs pre-choice. And I play ukulele and guitar, and I used to do piano, but not as much anymore.
Great. That's awesome. Asher, do you want to tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name's Asher, and I am a singer-songwriter. I'm also an architectural assistant. I found music after university, and I've been writing a lot of songs, and I've joined a punk rock dream pop band where I play keys, and I also do work for BlueJam, mentoring kids, I think. And the basic problem with lockdown was sort of like gigs, and I've not being able to play live has really hit. So that's me.
Yeah, we all from just hearing everyone's had their own little like things that have stopped and things that haven't been able to happen because of COVID. But lockdown's kind of brought a lot of opportunity on all of us, and like people have like achieved so many different things because of lockdown, and like there's been so many positive, like the flip side and positives to kind of what people have done. Like this whole thing wouldn't have happened without lockdown, and we've achieved so much through doing this. Like I feel like we've all really achieved a really nice sense of community and support, and it's been a really safe space to share our work and our feelings about stuff. Like I know different people have posted stuff in the WhatsApp group, and it's been really nice to see like what everyone's been up to. Like Hazel, you've been posting some stuff that you've been up to, like a little video, and I think Chloe's been putting stuff in there, and a lot of other people.
Definitely having that space to share with other people when we've been so isolated in some ways has been really great.
I remember from just like hosting one of the webinars, I'm not really a guy that's used to, speaking in front of big crowds or anything, but doing the webinars, it's been a really enjoyable experience, and it's helped. It's been really comfortable doing it. I've definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same way. I felt really like underconfident starting off doing the webinars, and like being able to speak to people and like be inquisitive and ask questions. Does anyone else feel the same way? How's the webinars affected anyone else?
Yeah, the first one that I did was just me and Naomi, and it was definitely a lot better to do in pairs because I don't think I would have been able to do it on my own. It was just like someone else that was sort of with you at the time, and then I did my second one with Josh. And yeah, the first one I was so scared. I was like, oh, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay, and it was fine. And the second one I was better, but it was like really scary, but I did really enjoy it. It was great.
Yeah, it's kind of getting over the fear of it like straight away, and like building some kind of like rapport and communication with the people within like that first half an hour that you've got to like meet everyone.
Yeah, and the guests are always really lovely, so that helps.
Naomi, what were you going to say? Sorry.
I mean, I'm used to doing public speaking, but it's very different to do it online, especially when you're being recorded or it's live, because it's kind of the pressure of it being seen by people you can't see. So it was an very interesting experience to talk to strangers, but also do that live. But I think it's quite an important skill because you never know when it's going to come up again.
Does anyone else want to share anything that they feel like they've achieved during lockdown? Dorothy?
During lockdown, I did a musical theatre writing course based in America with like an off-Broadway writer and a new and upcoming writer, so Morgan Smith and August Greenwood. And that was it really helped build my knowledge on a lot more things like songwriting, composition, as well as other sections of writing like a score and a book, which was something that really interested me, wanting to pursue musical theatre. And linking to that, I ended up getting a job at a musical theatre magazine, writing articles and reviews and such, which I've carried on after, like post lockdown, as well as giving me a bit more time to, like, with no school, was only online. I managed to re-pick up the guitar a lot more than I used to, which was good.
Gonna get our reactions out. That's so cool.
Thank you.
Did the magazine writing come off the back of you doing that course?
They kind of came a bit hand in hand. I'd worked with the magazine, like doing some art for them, and I ended up reaching out when they were just, I ended up reaching out to them asking if they had any places for a writer. And currently I'm both writing for the magazine, the website, and doing some of the, I run the Facebook page. It's called Curtain Call Magazine. Give a little promo there.
That's so cool. Does anyone else want to share anything? Chloe, go for it.
So I've like had a lot of time over lockdown to kind of think about what I want to do, like especially when I hadn't actually done my GCSEs, and like I was kind of in a mind that I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So then it gave me a lot of time to like reflect on what I wanted to do at A level and like what I wanted to do after A level. And it's kind of helped me to like develop my music theory skills, because I kind of done a lot of performance and not really learned like the important things that help you to do the performance. So yeah, I'm currently working towards grade 5 theory, and I got an 8 in my music GCSE. So yeah.
That's really great. That's so good. Ruby, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to add on to that. I'm like the same. I've done a lot of performance. Well, not obviously recently, but like with BlueJam stuff, it's been so good because I've had so much experience performing, and I'm with school as well, actually, from like music trips. But I've not really done much theory until I did GCSE, and that was really helpful. I didn't really do much theory over lockdown, but yeah, I'm sort of similar to Chloe. Then I started with performance and then went to theory.
I think it really gave like time to do things that maybe you wouldn't have done before. Like I'd never picked up the guitar or the bass or any of those things, and then you were able to like go back and like have some time to like look at those things. I found that really useful.
Yeah, I feel like although I was still doing schoolwork, lockdown gave me enough time to actually, for the first time, finish a song rather than just having loads of tiny little ideas.
So hard.
Yeah. So it was good for me to actually know that I can write a full song. It was good to have that evidence there for when I'm writing other songs and go, it is possible, it is possible to finish this.
Hazel?
So it's sort of like in June time, there was this competition for the entire college about equality, diversity and inclusion, I think. And I wrote an original song. It was like my first original song where it's completely me with lyrics, because I'm more used to arranging songs with just like the alpha loops that you get that come with Logic. And I ended up winning the competition for the entire college, not just for my course, by doing that video, that song with the video to it. with the help from a couple of my friends from college. So I managed to do that.
That's really great. I think a lot of people have started using things for the first time. Like, I didn't know how to use, like, same as you, like you learning Logic and stuff. I learned how to use a piece of software called OBS, which is like a live streaming software. And like, I turned my bedroom into like a whole TV studio basically, and I had cameras like all over the place. Like I had to like have it little tilted on a little book and stuff, and like. And I got my brother there with a little monitor and a little mouse and stuff, controlling all the cameras. And I made this like really high quality thing from my room, which I didn't really know was like possible to do without kind of like having that time to do it. And that's stuff that like I'm now kind of applying to these live streams that BlueJam's now doing and stuff. And that skill set that I've kind of like learn over lockdown has been really useful in doing stuff for other people now.
The trials and tribulations of Soundtrap.
Soundtrap. We all know the trials and tribulations of Soundtrap. Love Soundtrap. We've done loads of stuff on Soundtrap, which has been really cool.
Yeah, Soundtrap's been great. Like, it's good because it's I think it's on the cloud. I don't really know how that works, but everyone can add to it. It's like perfect for lockdown basically because you don't have to go anywhere, and everyone from like different devices can add to it. It's great.
And the whole like video calling thing's really good because you can like communicate via the video call. Everyone can add stuff, sync it up, and you can like bounce back ideas really, really quickly. I think that's a really cool thing that's like kind of came out of lockdown, is that we can carry on using that anyway, like as an idea bouncer kind of thing.
Super useful and super easy to sort of sometimes it works. When it does work, it's like the actual interface is quite instinctive sometimes, I think, for actual DAW, like an accessible DAW.
Should we move on to talking a little bit about how lockdown's kind of affected us all, and like things that we haven't been able to do, maybe that we might have wanted to do, and stuff like that. Does anyone want to share anything?
So I've kind of, yeah. So I guess kind of because a lot of what I do is kind of live performance. So I'm very much a classical musician. So naturally, you know, there's not very much kind of recording and stuff going on. So, you know, a lot of that's been affected. So, you know, I can't play at concerts anymore. I can't perform in public anymore. But I guess kind of like what's come with that is that we've been doing some. Oh, I've been doing, I should say, is that with the orchestras and stuff. You know, I've been doing those. I mean, you've probably seen it. You know, where you record your own part and it's all mixed together. And it's just kind of been a really nice experience just doing that. Bit of a change to the normal experience.
Yeah, there's been some really, really cool videos that have come out. Like, I don't think I've seen the videos that you've done yet, Matt. You need to post them somewhere in the WhatsApp or something. But Ullswater did a concert that I put some stuff together, and I know Hazel's been like working on a little video and stuff, which has been really cool.
But I think it is worth saying, like, it's just not the same as playing live, is it? Like, I think everybody has missed that when it's just so in the moment, it's so present. I think that's been difficult. I've definitely found that hard.
Yeah, and I'd take live playing over doing that any day, but it's not to say that I haven't enjoyed, you know, doing the recordings. I absolutely have. It's been a wonderful experience, but yeah, no, there's nothing that beats doing it live.
Taking a positive viewpoint from it.
Yeah, I agree. And like, even if it's not like live in front of an audience, just like meeting up and playing with people, And I mean, we've done like so much on Zoom, but obviously you can't like Zoom, it cuts everyone out if you play and like it's all disjointed. I mean, it's never going to be quite the same. It's always quite interesting, but I mean, it has been great, but I can't wait till we can actually meet up again. Although you can't exactly wear a mask if you're playing saxophone, so.
Okay.
I was just going to say, as part of my A-level class, there's only 9 of us in the class. And so we could do like, for Christmas, we've done like recordings of different songs that we've sung together, like socially distanced. And we sent them to care homes. And we also did a Christmas carol service to the whole school and a Christmas concert, which was actually viewed earlier today. And we got loads of pictures back from the care homes, and like even though it's like quite hard, like struggling with not being able to make that connection with an audience like in person, like it was quite nice to like get the pictures and the videos of the old people sat in the care home watching us and like clapping for us and everything. It was really sweet.
I bet that was so nice to do that. Were they all virtual? Did you all record them virtually?
Well, it wasn't really like, we did some things where like what Matt was talking about earlier, where like you do your own part and then like you put it together. But some things like we could actually just do it in the lesson. And like we also did this thing where we played Christmas carols with boomwhackers, and that was just hilarious. Like we had the whole school doing their part for the song and like just mushed together, and it was hilarious.
So cool. Naomi, do you want to share anything?
Yeah, I might just say, you know, with lockdown having to go online for everything turning virtual, it's been good in some ways, but one thing I've found is it's come with quite a lot of stress, especially when there's so many musicians only showing their very, very best on social media, and you end up comparing yourself to them, and you end up thinking, oh, look, they're really succeeding, and it's really easy to start kind of comparison culture, which I think once you take time and get a bit of perspective, you realize that's not actually how it is for them. They will have had to work to that and they will have had to fail, but they just won't have shown that. And it's really important, I think, for us all to remember that it's only a certain side that we see from online, even though we've been seeing so much of it during lockdown.
I mean, it's become so cluttered like really quickly because everyone's like used that as a platform to kind of like express themselves and like put out content, because they can't do it any other way, because they can't perform live and they can't produce records and things and put them out as easily. People have like thrown everything into this void of the internet straight away, and like so much stuff, and it's all like top quality, and you're always like, everyone's comparing themselves, but you've just got to do like your thing, and you can only be you, like, and that's what makes you, whether you do the exact same song or the same thing as someone else, like it's going to sound completely different because you're you. What are you going to say?
Sorry. Yeah, like I've definitely, a lot of people, like I started an art account, I don't know, maybe it's like 3 months ago or so. And like I can think of at least like 3 people that I know that have also started Instagram accounts for things. So it's definitely loads of people, which is great to see, but like it's definitely increased a lot. And I found that sort of over lockdown, in my head, I was like, oh, I've got all these months, I'm gonna do so much work, like I'm gonna like play so much, I'm gonna like record so much stuff, and I barely did anything because I just found it so hard to sort of motivate myself. And I really don't enjoy playing on my own, like getting a backing track and just thinking about, let's do this, like it's just not the same. And so that's why I sort of found it quite hard to actually just play like my saxophone and stuff, which is why I can't wait to get back to playing together. But that definitely surprised me.
Yeah, I felt exactly the same. Honestly, I was like, it was probably one of the most uncreative times for me. Even though I did like one live stream, that took a lot for me to kind of like cutter up the motivation to do that. And like I was like, me doing that was like thinking of other people. I was like, I want like something to like bring joy to other people, and like just to do something for people, because I feel like everyone's just sat there like at home not doing much, and everyone's probably going to be a little bit down.
Yeah, I remember my mum was watching it while she's making tea, and she really liked it.
Thank you.
I thought it was great.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people have felt like there's a lot of pressure to be productive all the time, like from everyone. There's such a like productivity culture, and like I just really like it's stressful. It's a stressful time for everyone, and everyone's just got to look after themselves without the pressure of like having to be creative. Like you can do as much or as little as you want, and I kind of decided not to do as much, really, and to look after myself. I don't know how anyone else feels about that.
Yeah, I think just lockdown in general, it just kind of had this idea of, everyone, let's all do, we'll all be more productive, we'll all do our own things, but in reality, it's different for everyone. I think that is something that we need to remember.
Chloe?
I was going to say, like, kind of like the fact that like people like who have been isolating and things, like, and people who have been like self-isolate, no, that's the same thing, shielding, sorry, like they'll have felt like kind of left out with the world. And I think there's kind of been like an extra pressure on people, like especially I felt it because in the summer, like I was planning that when I'd done my GCSEs and we had like a longer summer, I was going to get like a part-time job, like doing music somewhere, like in a restaurant or something. And then obviously like that didn't go to plan. And I think it's kind of hard like thinking about the future as well, especially like when we've seen how COVID's kind of affected the economic side of things. Yeah,
I was just going to add, this isn't really like a personal thing. I feel like quite a lot of people can relate, but with lockdown, with not sort of my like creative stuff, but like me and a lot of friends have planned to go to festivals or go and see concerts, and that's like a massive thing, and like that's probably one of the things I most enjoy. And it's just, you can't do it, and I feel so awful for the artists as well, because like that's something that I go and see, but that's also their whole career, and it's going to be quite a long time probably before we can do that again.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I used to see a lot of shows regularly, and now especially with recently with London going back into tier 3, and the whole like industry is kind of struggling at the moment. It's going to be a long time before things will get back to normal with that. That's a lot of opportunities missed for both performers and for people like audiences.
It's a massive social thing as well, isn't it? I've met a lot of my friends through gigs and like going to gigs, and like I met Asha through going to gigs and stuff, and I've met so many other people that I like now work with all the time. Like I met my best mate that I started my podcast with in Scotland at a gig. We were like front row seeing a band, and like we just hit it off straight away because we're both musicians, and we ended up starting this podcast over lockdown, which did really well. And yeah, it's just that like social thing of meeting people and like, yeah. Chloe?
and also like it's also gonna have affected like people's like inspiration for their music, because like I don't know about like other people, but I find inspiration from like things that I see in the world, or things that like I hear about, or yeah. And like if you've not been as open to the world, like most of us probably haven't, like it's harder to think of something that inspires you enough at this time, and like motivates you enough to actually create things.
Yeah, I think that's especially a case for inspiration when so much of the news is kind of inundated with the same things, the same updates of COVID, and when we're checking our phones, that's what we keep on getting, and we keep on looking about news on the vaccine or what the government's doing. It can be like that's all you can think about, and usually when you can go out and socialize properly, you have other things that you can take your mind off or have a larger focus, like an event or something. It's different when you're online because you don't have those big kind of markers of where your time is spent.
Yeah, and it's hard to like filter that kind of thing out of your social media stuff. Like it's hard to filter all that stuff coming through because you see it on Instagram and like you follow people, and like people that you actually want to see content might share stuff like that you don't know about, and you may not want to see, but you just gotta, yeah, sometimes you got to take a step back from all of that stuff and just kind of like go out for a walk or play the piano or do something creative.
Yeah, the highlights of your sort of day end up being going for a walk or yeah, like having lunch or something. That's like the thing you look forward to. Because
food.
Yeah, food. Definitely the thing that, I mean, obviously before lockdown, that keeps you motivated to think, oh, next week I've got this thing, or like in a month's time I've got this. But then it's just like nothing. So it's quite hard to like find, like Naomi said, like landmarks in like what you're doing next.
Yeah, totally. It's hard to find like, yeah, you don't know what's going to happen. Like there's always that uncertainty there, or there always was, because you didn't know what you were going to do and what was going to happen and what was going to be available to us and what the restrictions were. And there's still restrictions now. There's things that we can't do, like we still can't meet up or anything, but we're making it work, which is really great. Does anyone feel like anything that they've achieved has been impacted by the webinars, and are there any skills that people have picked up on that might help them in the future, maybe? Chloe?
Well, I've kind of found that it's built my confidence a lot because part of my autism kind of is actually made it even better, the fact that it's online, because I really struggle talking to people in person. Like I struggle with eye contact, I struggle with, sometimes I stutter, like, but online no one notices that I'm not making eye contact with them, or that like I stutter sometimes, because it doesn't matter. And if I do stutter, I can just pretend that my screen's frozen. So it works.
Or your internet doesn't work.
I have to agree with it's like a big confidence builder, especially since I'm used to like talking in front of people generally, but online it's a whole different deal, and being able to have that as a skill, being able to speak to people via things like Zoom it's quite important, especially in this day and age. So it's really helped build that.
Yeah, and talking to people is a massive like thing in the music industry. You've got to be able to talk to people and connect with people, and like that's been a massive thing that's came out of it, is the whole network of people that we've kind of met through doing the webinars.
The thing that I found from the webinars, oh sorry Chloe, the one that I did with, I think it was with you Josh, about different careers in music and stuff, that was like really sort of reassuring for me, because I have no idea what I want to do. Like I'm not doing music for A level because I'm just not really interested in that like side of it. I want to be able to play music and be in a band, or like just have people to play with. But it was sort of reassuring because pretty much everyone there was like, yeah, I never, like from day one it wasn't like I want to do this, it was like I just kind of ended up doing this, or I met this person and did this. So it sort of made me realize that you don't have to have a plan, as long as you like. And the main thing throughout all of the webinars was like networking, speak to people, like contact people, just reach out, like, and that was definitely like a massive thing that I learned. Yeah, that was just like a big thing that I learned from all of the webinars basically.
And like when I spoke to people in person, like or performed in front of people in person, I get like a massive stage fright, like no joke, literally massive. And so like doing these webinars And like even like just doing everything with BlueJam, like is kind of helped me not to feel like everyone's judging you. You shouldn't be doing this. Why are you even trying? Like it's kind of just encouraged me to do it. So yeah.
So that's really great that like you've had that experience. It's been really great for me to have that community and have that support network as well, for me to have people and to see other people in their journey, and it's great.
Yeah, totally. I agree with that too. One massive thing was the recent social media webinar that we did on content creation. And I feel like a lot of people didn't really know about all these different platforms and all these different things. I didn't really keep up with all of that stuff. I didn't know about all this reels and stuff on Instagram, and like how stuff that's like only really, really short is the stuff that gets to the top of the, like, more people see like 30-second clips and stuff like that. And like how big TikTok is. I didn't like realize how big TikTok was and stuff like that. Like, and it's made me realize that I like, even if I just like post like a little 30-second clip of what I'm doing, like it doesn't even matter what I post really, like as long as I'm posting something short is a really good thing, just to show people what I'm up to.
Yeah, I found so many artists off TikTok, like loads. Even like some of them are just big ones that I hadn't heard of, like a lot of little artists. And it's definitely like more personal than like other things, which is good. And Instagram Reels are like basically the same thing as TikToks, but for Instagram. So they're like really good as well.
I was also gonna say, because I just like literally just burst out laughing inside. After we did that webinar about content creation, the next day when I went into school, I was telling my form tutor like as if all of that had just come from my brain and as if I was a genius. And so I was showing her like all this stuff on TikTok, all this stuff on Instagram, and I was just taking all the credit for it. And I was like, yep, definitely wasn't my idea.
That's brilliant. That's actually brilliant. Has anyone else found anything that they want to use as part of their like future plans, or anything that they've got from the webinars?
I found the music promotion, how to promote your music webinar, really interesting, because I just didn't have a clue about where to start with that. So it's really helpful when you have people who've actually done the work for you and have experience within the industry, because they save you some time and hopefully some mistakes.
Totally. It's hard going out there and knowing what to do and what the right thing is to do and what the wrong thing is to do, and like knowing how to promote your music, because there's so many ways to do it and there's so many ways to go about it. But that, yeah, I found that really, really useful as well. How does everyone feel that the webinars or anything has like impacted what they might want to do for the future, and what is everyone's kind of aspirations and goals? It's okay not to know as well. Like you don't have to know, or you can be uncertain about it. Chloe?
Well, as part of my A-level course, I have to do quite a lot of composition, and as sort of a practice for free composition, I started writing this piece inspired by outer space and kind of inspired by the Planet Suite and Carnival of the Animals mixed together. And I wanted to kind of like see how that went, and maybe like record it and just kind of get it out, because why not? And also just like kind of make sure that I pass my A levels.
Do you feel like the recording webinar helped you a little bit with how to go about maybe recording it and stuff?
Yeah, because like literally before that webinar, I had no clue how to even consider doing it. Like I didn't even know what it meant by recording, to be honest. Like I didn't know whether it meant like using your phone, using like proper techie stuff, I don't know, but like or whether like, you know, whether you could do it as a group, whether you did it by yourself. So it kind of helped me to know kind of how to do that when I get to it, and like the different platforms that I can put it on.
Totally.
I started a TikTok.
Yeah.
Came into this generation. So that was something that I took from the webinar. But I think it, as people said before, the sort of the confidence to explore and put your stuff out there was something, and just to start and not to worry about where it goes. Like, I don't have any views basically, but it's just good just to have that structure, to put a video out there, to start thinking about what other people would want to hear, rather than just maybe necessarily what I want to play in my own time. But also that you have to get a cover done, and you have to get it out there, and not worry too much about whether it's perfect or not. And that it, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I think the thing about like just doing it straight away and just being consistent with it is that you can kind of see what people are reacting to as well, which is a really good thing, is to know like, is what you're doing right, and are people liking it? Because you can kind of see like whether how many hits or likes or reshares or whatever you get on things, which
Yeah,
is
I definitely found that, because I said I started that art Instagram account, and that was like it was just really interesting to see like how it works, and like the webinars that we're talking about social media and stuff, and yeah, like you said, just consistently. So I was like, oh, I don't have anything to post, but I'd be like, oh, just look at something I did in like year 9 or something, and just take a picture of that and post it. And generally people like it, and you just have to keep doing things, and even if it's not perfect, it's fine, like what you said.
Have you found that like you're getting more likes on things than others, and that's kind of led you in a different direction?
Yeah,
Or...
definitely. I found that because I did like this one big oil painting that took me hours, and then I did one that like really sketchy thing with like loads of random colours, and I did like a poll thing on my story saying like, which style do you prefer, and everyone went for the sketchy thing that took me like, I don't know, half an hour, which was really interesting. It was kind of like, oh, I spent so long on that other one, but I kind of preferred it as well. Like, I don't know, it's just interesting to see what people actually think.
Yeah, some people kind of like that, like in the moment, spontaneous kind of thing that's done really quickly. Like, I think a lot of songs come out of that kind of way. Like, a lot of songs are written like really, really quickly, and sometimes people like that kind of thing. For me, it's like what I want to do is try and build a bit of a social media presence and kind of put myself out there a bit more, because I feel like a lot of people don't really know what I do, and I have such a wide skill set that I don't really know what to do with. I feel if I like put it out there and tell people what I'm doing, then I feel like I might get a bit more communication from people and a bit more of a network kind of going on, and people messaging me and stuff. Chloe?
I was just gonna say, from Ruby's point, like, people, well, I don't know about all people, but some people like might think that if something's like really, really long, like a piece of music, or I don't know, or a piece of art that's took them a long time, probably more music, like they might think that because it's like perfect and it's so long, it might have been like over rehearsed, and you can hear that, like if something's been over like played. Whereas if like it's not necessarily perfect for you, like most of the time an audience probably won't notice, and also like they're more likely to enjoy it because it doesn't sound like you've practiced it for 3 hours or however long you've practiced it before recording it. So yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna add on to that, definitely about over rehearsing. Like with BlueJam, a lot of the time it's like half an hour rehearsal and then it's like, right, play, which I think is great because it just means you have to just do it, and then that's definitely when like the best things come out, and you just kind of think, right, okay, you just got to play something now, and then it actually turns out amazing, like, or better than it may have done if you spent like 2 hours going and then you get all tense. It's just better to be more natural with it.
I'm definitely a culprit for the 2-hour rehearsal, and then it's like, oh no, I've not got anywhere. Or like sometimes you do get somewhere, but yeah, taking breaks is definitely something that I really need to remind myself to do. I also have something to say from Hazel. She just messaged me, and she says like what the webinars have given for her is that she's given the feeling that she can be more comfortable and independent, and she feels not so on her own. So it's made it easier to share. I thought that was really nice. It was a really nice like sum up of how it like makes me feel as well, I think.
Dorothy?
And I think these webinars and the like being able to talk to all of like you guys, because I kind of joined the webinars a bit later, so being able to have like insert myself and feel comfortable and such, and speak in front of like while it's being like streamed live, it's giving me the confidence to actually pursue like projects I'd want to pursue with other people, but didn't really have the confidence to go and ask around. Like I'm currently trying to form an acoustic group, an acoustic punk like band, and I didn't really have the confidence to go and ask people if they would be interested. But now, knowing that if I can do this, I can really do a lot more stuff. Do anything really.
That's really great that you've gone on to like gain the confidence to like go and like reach out and speak to people and like form your own group. That's really, really cool. Does anyone else have anything that they want to add at all? Matt?
Yeah, so I hosted with Asher the webinar on working with a digital audio workstation. I kind of have been tinkering a bit with it, and it has just kind of helped give me a comfortable introduction to it. And I'm looking to in January to record my A-level composition using Cubase. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, and the just doing the webinar itself, it's really it's really boosted my confidence. It has just genuinely just helped overall.
I think that kind of ties in with Hazel's thing of being able to try things that you're just a little less comfortable with trying and just jumping into it. I think I really empathize with that point.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add that like throughout all of the webinars and just everything with BlueJam, like we've been doing Girls in Jazz, which I really enjoyed, and like just everything that we've done definitely like made me realize, because I think without it I might not have realized as much that I do want to keep doing music. Like I do some odd A levels. I do physics, psychology, and art, which doesn't really make sense together. But so like yeah, like I said before, I don't know what I want to do, but I know that whatever I end up doing, I definitely want to just be able to do music like throughout my whole life and just playing with people. And if that does end up being something that I do as a career, then that would be great. But I just know that from these, it's made me realize I definitely do want to keep doing music.
I think that's a really nice way to end it, just like talking about how music's always going to be like a big part of all our lives in some way, shape, or form, which is really nice to like think that that's always going to be there for us, and like for us to be able to express ourselves in that way. Yeah, Chloe, do you want to finish off the webinar with a little thing?
So from what we've heard from everyone here tonight, it seems like we've all had really positive experiences through doing these webinars, and it has helped us to build as musicians and both as also like individuals, like trying to find our way for the future. It has also helped us realize our aspirations and helped us to move forward with those. We'd really like to thank everyone who has hosted, been a guest, or who has watched any or all of the webinars. Special mentions to our tech wizard Jess and our mentors Bryony and Asha. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube at BlueJam Arts, where you can find all of the previous webinars and updates about what the organisation is up to. Thank you very much for watching.
Thanks, guys. Bye.